Where is Foxy in Into the Pit? A question I've seen asked everywhere. YouTube, Reddit, Twitter, Discord, over and over again. Where is Foxy? Why are Bonnie, Freddy, and even Chica present in Into the Pit, chasing you, attacking you, and playing their usual roles, but Foxy is completely absent? You'd think a fan favorite like Foxy would be front and center, right? Well, when we dig a little deeper into the game, it actually becomes much clearer that Foxy might not be absent by accident. Instead, his absence might be part of the lore and potentially very deliberate. The basic and practical explanation for his absence in FNAF Into the Pit is Into the Pit is a brand new take on a FNAF game, a pixel-style, retro horror game built by Megacat Studios and published under Scott Cawthon's watch. It's a major evolution from the other FNAF games and is heavily story-driven, has NPCs, multiple timelines, side quests, and boss battles. This is a big jump from Sit and Survive the Night. It's noted that Into the Pit isn't the scariest FNAF game, and the dev's main focus definitely appears to be the story over anything else. So, it's totally possible that Foxy was excluded for development reasons. This game already has 3 main antagonists, Freddy, Bonnie, and Spring Bonnie. And let's be real, Chica basically serves no real purpose in this game. Maybe the devs didn't have the time, budget, or narrative space to add Foxy, but if that's all it was, why go out of their way to create hints and Easter eggs about Foxy? Why even include Pirate's Cove? Well, if it wasn't for developmental reasons, perhaps it was for this one. Another popular FNAF theory is that Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy are all previous kids who went into the ball pit and got caught, and then they got stuffed in their animatronic suits, becoming them, and the only reason Foxy's not active is because it's waiting for Oswald to possess him when he gets caught. I mean, Oswald is definitely a runner, though at some points of the game he's really bad at it. This is also even more proven when Oswald has to save his friends during the game, and one of them actually ends up stuck in an endoskeleton trying to crush him. My problem with this is the beginning of the game where everyone is running for their lives. Not a single kid died during the Yellow Rabbit attack to become Foxy. It had to be Oswald. For me, I'm not sure that this checks out. Also, why didn't Spring Bonnie kill one of the other kids? For example, one of the last nights, he proceeds to lock a little girl in the walk-in freezer, and then Oswald lets her out and he chases him down. Why not take the others? Another problem is in the canon game ending, Oswald never gets caught. So what, there was never going to be a possessed Foxy? So that leads us to the deeper question. Is the reason for Foxy missing the lore? Well, we need to understand timeline placement and why it matters. Into the Pit most likely takes place between FNAF 1 and FNAF 6. This would explain the presence of Spring Bonnie, not Springtrap, meaning William Afton is still alive in his original form, not yet rotting in a Springlock suit. This lines up with the dialogue snippets, design choices, and most importantly, the Spring Bonnie chase near the end. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The Into the Pit game is a direct adaptation of the first Fazbear Frights book, Into the Pit. In that story, the flashbacks Oswald experiences are heavily implied to take place in 1985, just after the missing children's incident, right in the golden age of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. So the Foxy in question here isn't some forgotten backup version, it's OG Foxy, the original Pirate's Cove legend. But even in the book version of Into the Pit, Foxy is missing. Let's start with what the game does show us. Foxy has his signature stage, Pirate's Cove, complete with a red curtain. On that curtain, out of order. Sound familiar? That same sign appears in nearly every other Five Nights at Freddy's game. Foxy always seems to be out of commission. The sign is practically part of his identity at this point. But in most of those games, Foxy still moves. He still leaves his cove, he still charges you. So, why not here? In Into the Pit, he's completely deactivated, doesn't move, doesn't talk, doesn't attack, just gone as if he never existed. But then there are subtle clues that the game leaves behind. When Oswald approaches the Pirate's Cove curtain, he overhears children talking. Do you think Fox will be back soon? I miss him. Who knows? If I was out selling the seeds, I'd never come back. There's something deeply unsettling about the conversation. The kids aren't asking when he'll be fixed, they're asking when he'll come back. Like he's gone. Missing. Even later, Oswald reads a handwritten note on the curtain. Gone pirating, see you soon. And here's the kicker. Oswald refuses to look behind the curtain. Why? Is it fear? Is it instinct? Or is it because there's simply nothing there? Maybe something they don't want to show us. The deeper you go into the game, the more strange clues to Foxy's disappearances you'll notice. There are Foxy parts scattered all around, quite literally everywhere. A Foxy mask stuck in the arcade vending machine, a Foxy hook stored away in the back rooms, a coupon for Foxy's Pirate Palooza, and of course plushies and cutouts everywhere. All of this making one thing very clear. Foxy was a working attraction at some point. He wasn't forgotten, he was still loved, marketed, and merchandised. He was there, but now he's not. So what happened? Well, my leading theory is Foxy was scrapped. The best working theory right now I have is that Foxy was fully decommissioned. Not just shut down, but completely scrapped for parts. And that's where the hook in the storage room comes in. It's not just a prop, it's a message, an echo of the past, an animatronic taken apart piece by piece. Now remember when the kid said, when will he be back? Not fixed, back. That minor word change tells us everything. He isn't broken behind the curtain. He's not even behind the curtain at all. If he really was just behind the curtain, why wouldn't Oswald even look at this point in the game? He's literally running away in the dark, hiding behind vents, fighting other animatronics, played Bonnie's guitar, set a firecracker in Freddy's face, and still goes back every night for his friends and his dad to fight a yellow rabbit. But the curtain is where he draws the line. Looking behind a curtain. If Foxy was behind this curtain, Spring Bonnie, aka the yellow rabbit, likely would have used him, just like he uses Freddy and Bonnie to attack Oswald. But he doesn't, because Foxy isn't functional. He's not even there to be controlled. So then what really happened to Foxy? Why did they remove him in the first place? In my opinion, Foxy was removed for being a liability. In every other FNAF game, he's the most unpredictable, the fastest, the most violent. He doesn't even follow the same rules as the others. Even the phone guy says he doesn't like being watched.
I guess he doesn't like being watched.
He's aggressive, and above all, he's always broken. Maybe Fazbear Entertainment just had enough. Maybe the risk wasn't worth the reward. Maybe he broke down one too many times, and so they decided to just permanently scrap him and quietly let Pirates Cove fade into obscurity. But they didn't erase him entirely. The posters, the plushies, the masks, they're reminders, memorials. They knew people would have questions. The gone pirating note, that wasn't a glitch or an oversight. It was his memory, a reminder. Foxy didn't just malfunction. He didn't disappear because of game limitations. He was taken apart, piece by piece, to figure out what could have possibly been wrong with him. But if Into the Pit taught us anything, is that the past always finds a way to crawl back up. So maybe, just maybe, Foxy's not gone for good. Of course, it's just my working theory, and if you disagree, feel free to let me know why in the comments. Also, the video on screen is recommended just for you.